Hey everybody, so here we are again, another art school, and a little bit about today. Figured I'd do another part of the, face. Figured I'd draw one of the most prominent features on some people's faces, noses. So I've got my absolutely miniature pencil here. Still, once again, show you how, I can use a tiny pencil like this just as easily as I can use a larger pencil. It's not the size that counts, it's how you use it. So, figured I'd do a little bit of charcoal, a little bit of pencil, and maybe even touch a little bit in pen, show you the different things about it. Noses are one of those features you can have a lot of fun with. And to get the hang of it, really, just like I said before, it's just a matter of putting the pencil to the paper and practicing. So obviously, you got just a simple line for the bridge, a bit of a curve for the end of the nose. I mean, really, when it comes down to it, it's that simple. Obviously, it gets a little more creative, the more you go, you can do like a little more detail, shadowing, things like that. So it gets really interesting when you do that. You always got to be, you can be really creative in how your person looks, how your character looks, by changing the size of the nose, changing the shape, all little details like this. Sorry, I had to make sure nobody snuck in on me here. And so I mean, this is just very simple enough there, but then you got the hook nose here. Now, one thing I kind of notice in drawing noses that we don't really think about, is it's one of those things that just kind of naturally, we notice about the anatomy, but don't necessarily realize it until we think about it, is so the top of the nose here essentially comes down to about the edge of the nostrils there. So basically, if you've got the top of the nose here, and the edge of the nostril is going to be pretty much right below that. It's going to be like a straight line down underneath that. Just one of those little things, and obviously, with art, one of the things about art is, for every rule there's an exception. You can always change things. You can always adjust that. And I gotta get my coffee here because it is early and I need coffee. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, noses are one of those things you can do a lot of stuff creatively with them. There's a lot of playroom with noses. You can make noses comically large. But even then, it's almost the same. It's almost exactly directly underneath. And one of the things I kind of get do directly in conjunction with the nose is this little thing right there on the upper lip. I always do that. That's that tiny little divot at the top, on the top lip. I don't know what the name of that is. Never bothered to look it up. But just to give you an idea, I don't know if I can see this as well on the thing, but little bigger, a little darker, so you can kind of get the idea. Okay, and that's that. I mean, you know, so and there's a little bit of a. Most people, when they draw noses, you know, they always want to do like a big circle here, you know, for the end of the nose, almost like a clown nose. And granted, you can do that. Like I said, you know, the thing about noses is you can always play with them. You can always do something interesting with them. It's a way to make your character's face really unique. But you know, I mean, look at Family Guy, Seth MacFarlane's drawing of Peter Griffin. it's just a circle. It's just a half circle. So noses are one of those things that's, you know, always really interesting to play with. You know, and the way you get good at this is literally just like this, just doing this over and over again. Get you a piece of paper and cover it in noses. And with charcoal, you know, it's all about shading. You know, just you start out dark where the shadows are, darken it in, and yeah. So glad it's Friday. It's been a crazy week. It'd be nice to have a good weekend. Don't know about you guys, but it's been a crazy week here. Been a crazy week for the last few weeks actually, but I think that's everywhere. And go back with the blending stump, paper pencil as you could call it. And again, just blend all that out. And if you ever get too dark when you're blending, obviously, you know, just simple enough, go in with the eraser. Easy enough. I think Bob Ross said it best. We don't make mistakes, we just have happy accidents, right? There's a lot of truth in that. A lot more than people give credit for. Yeah, just darken in, shadows, leave highlights, and go back in a little more with your pencil. So, and there you got that. Simple enough. Noses are one of those things. It's like a lot of people don't really appreciate what it takes drawing that. Now with pen, obviously similar technique, just different style. Now the thing I just remembered, all these here are basically men's noses. the reason I say that is because of the bridge here. The bridge of the nose basically gives it a very masculine look. Never really understood why, but when you learn to draw, it's one of those things that you just never really appreciate. And but yeah, it's that's one of those subtle things. I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a second. So again, just shadows there, and you can do a few shadows on the other side of the nose just to give the guy a little bit of character. And like I said, this is just, what you do to practice, what you do to get an idea how to do this. It's all about, it really is all about practice. Like I said, I've been practicing for over 30 years to get this good. So don't look at my stuff and be intimidated, thinking that you can't do this. It really is all about just picking up that pencil and pen, whatever, putting it on the paper and practicing. And there you have one in pen. Think about women's noses. Women's noses, you basically just omit the bridge of the nose. So a woman's nose is very simply just the bottom of the end of the nose and nostril, and bring it up a little bit there to the top of the nose there. And that's it. I mean, it looks a little weird just by itself. It doesn't seem to, compute when you look at it just like this by itself. It doesn't seem to make any sense. But trust me, when you look at it in the context of the whole face, it really does make a difference. You don't even need to necessarily do these outside lines for the nostrils. Those can be distracting as well. You don't even need to draw the whole thing. It's always like it's like it's implied. The mind's going to fill in the details. But when you do that, you notice when all these details are there, it really does change the look of the person to a much more masculine look. And it just doesn't quite look right. The only time that you really draw the full bridge is if the eye is behind it. If your eye is behind this line, then you do want to show that. But it's then it basically becomes like it's almost like it's part of the eye, but it's not. So. I wonder how comical I can make something. Let's see here. So, how exaggerated could I make this? Let's go even bigger. Go big or go home. This is almost like a Looney Tunes character nose here. The bridge curves up into this like nose arch here, and it's the bridge of the eyebrow there. Almost looks like a character in and of itself. My way of relaxing doing drawing like this. Just seeing what I can come up with, seeing what I can create. And of course, right here would be the eyebrows coming out of there. You know, let's go ahead and do the eyes here just to show you kind of what I'm talking about with the eyes there. Again, sorry if I'm not talking much. I just get really concentrated on this stuff. You know, this is obviously just a quick sketch. I'm not trying to do anything fancy, anything particular, just to give you an idea. This is what we refer to as, in drawing, as a doodle. Just, you know, letting the pen go, seeing what we come up with. It's a great way to practice. Just, you know, it's almost like in writing, you know, free association writing. This is almost like free association drawing. You just let the pen go, see where it takes you, see what you come up with. Might get a real sense of what's going on up in your head when you do stuff like this. What comes out of your imagination. And I gotta say, my imagination is pretty weird. I mean, again, after you get done in pencil, you know, after you do something in pencil and then cover it back up with ink, just go in with your rubber eraser and bingo, there you go. I think this thing turned a little bit, the camera. apologies there. Anyways, like I said, guys, if you want, when you want to learn to draw, that's all you do. Just start putting pencil to paper, see what you come up with, keep practicing, do things over and over again. Get an entire piece of paper and cover it with just everything. Cover it with drawings. Do the whole thing. Do every little bit of this pen and paper in like the different features of the face. Pick a feature, practice it, do a whole page of it. Just to get an idea of how to do all the different things. Like I said, noses are varied from person to person. You can do so many different things with it. Long noses, short noses, thin, fat noses. And not just from the side, obviously. You can also do noses from straight ahead. Obviously, you still want to figure out where your light source comes from. So if your light source is coming from this side, the opposite side of the nose is obviously still going to be darker, including the nostril and everything. So just practice all the different angles. I say that, and yet all of them are facing to their right, but you can do the same thing this way. You always want to do that. I think the reason that my faces all tend to point a little bit more to their right is because I'm right-handed. But it's not to say I can't draw it that way. I just have this natural inclination to do that because of the fact that I'm right-handed. But not to say I can't draw them facing the other way. Then you've got the broken nose. Guy's got like a scar coming down here, going down over the bridge. And I actually did a character like this in one of the little stories that I drew back in the day. Gave this character this gnarly broken nose, like he had gotten hit in the face in a fight. Go over that with some pen here, just to show you. Scarring is one of those things that's actually interesting to draw. The way you do that is, the way you do scarring is almost like you do one really hard line and one really light line. You can even almost break it, not necessarily a solid line. And again, I always seem to draw that little divot in the upper lip right there. Just doesn't seem right without it. I don't know why. Nose just doesn't look right without that. again, go on with your eraser, get rid of those pencil marks. There you go. So that is right there how you do noses. And again, this camera just kept turning for this particular video. Sorry about that, guys. Let's see if I can get that fixed for next time. Thanks again for watching. Hope you liked it. Hope you maybe learned something. Maybe got a little bit inspired to, you know, practice drawing for yourselves. You know, so, you know, take it easy. Have a good weekend. See you next time.